It is the summer solstice, which for me has always been an auspicious occasion for making changes in my life. I'm also up on the mountain in Astaco, Chief Mountain. And as I was preparing to come up here, I had in mind a change that I would like to make. And given this occasion and that it's on the solstice, making it all the more powerful because we're close to the sun, the creator of life, I thought I would make an announcement, and I'm afraid almost to make this announcement because I'm afraid it's not going to be real. Because for me, what I intend to do, for me, that's my mountain. I climbed Chief Mountain today. I've climbed it 3 times now in my life, and I'm sure I'm going to climb it a lot more times. Every time I climb it, I bring a group of students up. Out of that group of students, maybe 1 or 2, sometimes none, will make it to the top. In order to climb a mountain, you have to have a confidence in yourself. And then more than that confidence, you in a sense have to quit looking at the mountain. If you look at the mountain, or you look at the rock wall that you just encounter, you might get intimidated. It's so big. But if you look at just what you have in front of you, your hand holds, your foot holds, what's the next step you're going to take to bring you to that next level, then it stops being intimidating. And I want to find out a way of incorporating that wisdom into my life with something that I've wanted to do for a long time that is my mountain. And that is changing my diet to the extent of being a full natural locavore. Now, what do I mean by that? Last year I began changing my diet. I got rid of fast foods, got rid of cigarettes, got rid of candy, I got rid of pop. A lot of chain restaurants I stopped visiting. A lot of processed foods I stopped eating. There were some things that I said I was going to quit eating that I didn't. For instance, I stopped eating tropical food briefly. My problem with tropical fruit is, bananas, oranges, anything that has to be grown around the equator, is that, it takes a huge amount of energy in a global trade network in order to bring it up to where we are in the north. And I don't want to participate in that. Ultimately, what I want to eat, what I want to put in my body, what I want to be made out of is the nature of the place where I live. And I think that last point is very important. What I want to be made out of is the nature of the place where I live. And so what I want to put in my body is the stuff that comes from here naturally. The things that just grow and that have been here, for so long. And I think for me what would be the next step, the next finger hold, the next toe hold, well, I won't even go there yet. because the finger hold and the toe holder is going to be something else. I think in my mind, I'm trying to use the mountain metaphor in a way that's going to help me succeed in accomplishing what I want to accomplish. But yeah, changing the diet is hugely, it looks insurmountable to bring yourself into an actual locavore diet, because our lives revolve around this global trade network. What I'm thinking is that for the next year, after I get down off the mountain, now today is Saturday, if you're going by the Gregorian thing, tomorrow's Sunday. I'm going to climb down off of this mountain on Sunday. And on Monday morning, when I wake up, the only things that are going to go into my body are foods that originate in the Old Man River watershed or drainage basin. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to cut out the farmed produce yet. I am, however, going to cut out beef, chicken, turkey, pork, goat, sheep, all those main domestic meats are going to be gone from my diet. What I'm going to allow myself to purchase is bison and elk, because at the very least they are animals that belong here. Although I don't agree with the commercialization, bison are not allowed to roam free, and so right now commercialization is the only way we can get them. Elk do roam free, and in fact I got elk in my freezer right now that's just hunted elk. I'm also going to eat, fish and mammals and such that occur here naturally to bring that protein into my diet. And eggs. Maybe some birds. I have a thing about birds. I love birds. In terms of vegetables and fruits, I'm going to have lots of vegetables and fruits that are naturally occurring. However, I am still going to buy some vegetables and fruits, but they're going to be the vegetables and fruits that are grown in my watershed and that are organic and certified as organic. I'm not going to eat any vegetables and fruits that are not certified as organic and grown in my watershed. So that's the challenge, right? That's what I'm going to do for 1 year. And I'm saying I'm going to do it for a year because I'm trying to trick myself to get to a different place on the mountain. And if you have a good mountain, if you have a really good mountain, honestly, there's no top to that mountain. Every time you get to the top, it turned out it was just another ridge, and there's another top. That's a good mountain, because it keeps going, your whole life, you're building. Tonight, I'm sleeping up here. I'm sleeping about 2/3 of the way up Chief Mountain. I climbed to the top today. I took lots of video and pictures and stuff, and made a couple of videos about the ideas that I'm even expressing now. I've never slept on the mountain before. The very top of the mountain is very cold and windy, and so, truth be told, I'm scared to sleep up there because of the cold and wind. I slept down below at our base camp on a high mountain meadow last night, and even there I was cold. So I'm afraid of the cold. Up here tonight, I'm going to be even colder, I know it. But I'm not up there just totally absolutely exposed. I chose a nice little rock enclave here that at least shield me somewhat. I'm hoping it doesn't get too moist. Last night we had rain. But basically by camping up here, this is my next step. Maybe next time I come up I'll camp at the top of the mountain. And this is what I'm trying to do with the diet. I'm trying to take the next step. So if I have to tell myself it's going to be a year in order to fool myself into taking the next step. You know, if I tell myself it's going to be a year, I'm the kind of person that I think I could do anything for a year. I can suffer whatever has to be suffered for a year. So, you know, my coffee in the morning. Come Monday morning, I'm going to want my coffee. I'm going to have to tell myself, you can have that coffee next year. But for today, you don't get to have it. You know, when it comes to Monday evening, I'm going to tell myself, you can't have that glass of wine tonight. You can have it in a year. When this vow is over, you can do anything for a year, and if you do this vow, it's going to make you a stronger person, and you've announced it. You've said you're going to do it, now you have to do it. So, you know, that's what I'm going to do to take myself to the next level. After that, I'm going to have to get rid of the farm stuff, the commercial meats, whatever. But when it comes to the end of the year, really it's an open choice for me. I mean, that's how I have to frame it in order to psychologically trick myself into this. That it's an open choice that I just have to go for a year. 365 days. So every day is that foothold and fingerhold. Right? Every meal, every choice, everything that I can put in my body is that little grip that I can take on this rock to get to the next shelf, which is the end of the day. And so it's going to be tough. And I've got to do it for a full year. And after that, I'm hoping that I'll be accustomed to it and habituated to it so that I can take it to the next level beyond that. But at least right now I'm not looking at that mountain, and I'm not going to look at it. I don't want to look at it. I've been looking at it a long time, and it's been holding me back to be looking at the whole mountain, to be looking at the insurmountable cliff. I need to look at the finger holds and the toe holds, the little decisions every day, and make the change in those. Maybe I shouldn't even be making a vow for a whole year. I don't know. But I think I can do anything for a year. So that's the vow I'm going to make, even though I know this is going to be a real challenge for me. This is going to be the real mountain. This physical mountain that I'm on is not that difficult for me. But to actually accomplish something that I don't know if anybody else is doing, that's difficult. To give up some of the little tricky little global trade things that I love, salt, coffee, my nightcaps, a little bacon Starbucks sandwich, so many things, Mexican restaurant, sushi. Can't let myself do that this year. I'm going to have to really put some thought into what I'm going to do, because I travel sometimes, and I'm married. And eating together is an important social event. I don't expect my wife to have to do this with me. At the same time, she's going to want to go to restaurants, and I'm going to have to go in and just drink tap water. And have none of their food. So that's the aspects that I got to think about. I'll spend some time thinking about those tomorrow. How am I going to handle the situation when the social situation brings in food and drinks that I'm not allowed to have? How am I going to handle the situation when I'm traveling? These are things I'm going to have to make some protocols and decisions about. But for now, that's the basic premise of the promise to myself, is that I take a year and try to really do what I can to make that change that I've been idealizing a long time. And that's the next step up my mountain. That's my vow.